another episode. Gas Network presents Sports for the Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce XXV, double I.
Rome.
D-Malo.
Gruff Lion.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
You know what it is, man. It's the fastest growing sports podcast in the nation, Sports for the Culture. I'm tonight's host. If you're a loyal listener, loyal follower, you know who I am, Young Rome 22 on all socials. If you're new, do me a favor, hit that follow button, that subscribe button. We got a great show for you tonight. Loyal fans will see the Philly fans are apparently giving themselves the night off. You know, they're celebrating early after their big W. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the fellas introduce themselves, but I'm gonna start with my man whose squad took the L. Bottom right, introduce yourself.
T-Buggy. T-Buggy, man. Y'all know what it is. Hey, wash your ass, wash your ass. Yeah, my Niners took that L, but, you can't win them all. You know, this thing is a little bit of luck, and, Eagles had a little luck with them. But, hey, I'm ready to talk about the entire weekend and the next football game, the big one, Super Bowl. So, hey, it's going to be a good show. Let's get it.
Yeah, man, it's hard to win when you are down to an XFL quarterback in the NFC Championship game, but we'll get into all that. Top left, introduce yourself.
At Bryce XXV double I, a.k.a. Mr. Big Leaguer, a.k.a. the good mister, a.k.a. my mama's favorite gas panelist, a.k.a. the only NFC East team that was in the playoffs. So, hey, shout out to y'all squad, T. At least y'all was there, man. At least you had something to watch. You know, you had a horse in the race per se. Yeah, man, I'm surprised Scruff is off this week. I thought it would have been one of those weeks where he forced his way in. You know how Scruff does. You're like, hey, I'm on this week, guys. please let me on. I thought he was gonna be on that, but my man took a back seat, and we appreciate it, Scruff. But shout out to the Eagles. Impressive victory. Looking forward to the Super Bowl.
I mean, impressive is subjective there, but again, we'll get into all that. We'll get into that here in a second. Last but certainly never least, always bringing the energy, my man in the bottom left. Introduce yourself.
It's your boy D-Malo. And today, fellas, I feel like this is y'all ever watch the Dave Chappelle skit episode of the Player Hater Ball? That's us right now. So today, fellas, let's stay it all together. Hey, fuck Philly, fuck the Eagles. Hey.
I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna go that far, but I'm feeling the vibe a little bit, man. But let's go ahead and jump into it, fellas. We're teasing it a lot here. Let's talk about this NFC Championship game. The Eagles blew the 49ers out. If you didn't see it, Brock Purdy left the game early with an elbow injury, which turns out to be pretty serious. I think he's going to miss about 6 months. That's going to affect the 49ers' future. We'll get into that too. But first, I want to get everybody's reactions and thoughts on the 49ers-Eagles game, and I'll start with G.
Oh my God, Brock Purdy, what was it? Before he got hurt, he was 4 for 4, and then he gets hurt. It's just like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say it would have been a better. Well, it's not hard to say it would have been a better game because God knows we know it would have been a better game. I just want to say you 49ers are the most cursed franchise when it comes to the playoff time because Jesus Christ, I have never seen. I want to say from a Giants fan, Dable does not deserve Coach of the Year. Kyle Shanahan does because we have never seen in my generation time watch a head coach not go through 1, 2, 3 starting QBs and lose all of them. And the defense, like the defense kept them there. It's just the defense can only do so much before they're gonna end up bending, and that's what ended up happening because those Philly touchdowns were like that's those offensive turnovers, and I can't blame the defense at that point because they're right there at the red zone. Eventually, they're gonna score. That Philly offense is good enough to score. Damn, man, it was a lackluster. I'm not gonna lie, it was super lackluster once Brock Purdy went down. And I don't want to hear about Brock Purdy. Well, he's gonna get exposed. Nah, man, because the kid was playing. And it's just fuck.
Yeah, G, I agree with you. The word lackluster definitely fits that game, in my opinion. Bryce, you used the word impressive earlier when we opened the show. So, how impressed were you with this Eagles victory over Josh Johnson?
Yeah, over Josh Johnson. I like what you did there. Yeah, I see what you're getting at, wrong. I see what you did with the framing of that question. And before I get to, I want to start with who I was most impressed with, man. I think G got at it a little bit. Kyle Shanahan deserves Coach of the Year, in my opinion, man. After that, I mean, you saw. I think the most impressive part, right, was the 49ers had no quarterback, and somehow they were still picking up first downs when everyone knew the only thing they could do was run the ball. Like you knew it. They were pulling out running plays out of their ass, bro. Like Kyle Shanahan might have been drawing them in the dirt on the sideline during the game. Like the run actions they were doing were crazy. I think he just about all about wrapped that award up. As far as the Eagles, I just think it was impressive because what's that term everybody likes to use now, man? Don't play with your food, right? The Eagles didn't play with their food, bro. Like they had a weakened opponent there for the taking, and they did what you're supposed to do, bro. Like they didn't let the game go to the wire. They didn't play down to the competition, bro. They just squashed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if a team is limping like that, like you're gonna squash them. Like you're in a boxing match and you swell up their left eye, you're gonna punch at the left eye again, right? Like you know what I mean? And that's what the Eagles did, in my opinion. We'll see how it works against the Chiefs, but it damn sure was enough to beat a quarterback less 49ers team. Um, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it fares in the Super Bowl, though.
That's fair. That's kind of been the Eagles all season. Kind of just doing what they need to do per se. Not if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's kind of been the Eagles. But T, before I get to you, man, I gotta ask, bro. Like, how you feeling? I noticed tonight there's no green tree, no neon lights flashing in the back. In past shows in the playoffs, you've had 49ers gear. It's been colorful. Today it just looks like you're in the couch with regular lighting. You're in a black tee. Is everything good, my man?
Yeah, still, it's gonna take at least about a week. Grief is in stages. I'm still mourning. But it was my intuition is crazy, right? I think I even said in the show, like I could see a blowout, right? And I just couldn't see it happening like this. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't have paid me and told me 49ers would start the season with a Super Bowl quarterback, first round draft pick, and Mr. Irrelevant, and we end up with a journeyman. Like you couldn't even, not even home. Hey, go ahead. Yeah, you could have paid me, but I would have, like, if the Eagles would have actually we would have played and no one got injured and they would have actually blown us outright. I would have felt much more better and comfortable with the result. But I just kind of feel cheated. I think even the Eagles feel like we wanted to win, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you're a true competitor, you want to play a team at their best. But I'm not gonna take nothing away from the Eagles because even without a quarterback, like their line dominated both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt. Um, we held their receivers in check. We held Jalen Hurts in check. But at the end of the day, man, that's the game. Any given Sunday, next man up. Our next man just happened to be a little nervous out there. Dropped the snap, and he eventually ended the game. That was the end of the game for me, man. He dropped the snap,
Hmm.
seen the team deflate. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen them movies, that last breath? That was the 49ers when he decided not to fall on the snap. And then when he did decide to fall on it, he still couldn't get it. So, um, I'm a little upset about that. I wanted to go out fighting if we did go out, and we couldn't. You can't fight with a broke wrist, man. We ain't have a quarterback to punch back, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man. That's a good way to sum it up, man. Because once Josh Johnson dropped that ball, the game pretty much was over. And then after the concussion, the game was legitimately over, and it was one of the worst games to even watch. And this is coming from a guy who loves watching football. Once they put Purdy back in, they literally just had to run it the whole time. They didn't have anyone that could actually throw the ball and make it a competitive game. It reminded me I think it was that COVID game. I think it was like the Seahawks or somebody. Maybe it was the Vikings, where they got down to like the whole QB room got COVID, and they got down to like some third, fourth wide receiver, running back, or something crazy. Had to start at QB, man, and it was just like the worst football. So it's like for the 49ers to go out like that, it's not indicative of who they were as a team this season. I would say.
But I, I do want to say though, um, even after Purdy went out, we scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? We were
Facts.
Purdy goes out, we still managed to get a stop and a score. And then they came back and they scored. But it's just tough as a fan, bro. It's tough to watch. You get on the internet and you see every quarterback that Kyle Shanahan touched outside of Matt Ryan, it seems, has been injured. Start dating back to RG3, man. Like Kyle found.
Damn, that's a bad track record now. Damn, I didn't even think about it like that.
It's a terrible track record.
What's crazy is I don't necessarily think it's always his fault, but
No, it's definitely not his fault. That's coincidence, bro. That's
but
coincidence.
I don't really believe too much in coincidence, right? I look at the Brock Purdy play, right, and they're obviously you don't want your backup tight end blocking an elite pass rusher. I mean, but they had dogs at every position on the line. But when I watched the tape, what stood out to me is I saw a rookie quarterback getting step up into a pocket. I mean, and that's kind of what happens, right? Your tackles are pushing those guys back. If you don't climb the pocket, like you give them a good angle to swat the ball, grab the ball, get at your arm. So I'm not putting that on Kyle, and I don't want to put that on Purdy either. It's just football, man. It's a bad play.
Nah, hey, shout out to the Houston Texans for talking about D'Amico Ryans, man. I don't know if that's the real Texans. I don't know if that's the real Texans. It might be you know how the internet is these days, man. It might be good old catfish Texans. But if it is real
I got a
Texans,
question for you, T. Yeah, but how did you feel like you guys were using other
we'll
tight
get
ends
back
to
to that.
block, to chip block? I didn't think y'all guys should have did that. Why wasn't Kittle chip blocking?
I mean,
That's what my one thing when he was calling those plays, I'm like have Kittle because Kittle was bigger than the rest of those tight ends. I thought he was more stronger.
I don't
I
remember
get,
what up on that play, but I'm not about to question Shanahan play calls because when Shanahan calls a play and we see a random tight end come across the line and he seals the edge and it works and they score, none of the fans have anything to say, right? And maybe they should have just played basic football and ran the ball down the middle. You tackle to block a defensive end, but if you don't move the ball, fans get mad either way. I'm not questioning the coaching. I mean, I've been through Jim Tom Sula. I've been through some bad coaches. Kelly, I'm not questioning the coaching at all. If the players didn't question it, I saw some players that no longer on the team question it. But if the players on the field don't question it, I'm not. I'm good with it.
Hey, you know what I find interesting, man? So in hockey, right? And I don't know how often y'all watch hockey, but they have this thing called the emergency goalie, man, because the first goalie gets hurt sometimes, but the second goalie rarely ever gets hurt in a hockey game, right? But if the second goalie is to get hurt, somebody in NHL realized we don't really have a game without a goalie. If both goalies go down, it's almost pointless for us to play because the other team just going to be able to score at will, right? And I feel like we've gotten there with the NFL, right? Now, the thing about these emergency goalies is they literally be dudes off the street. It's almost like a job. It's not like they practice. I don't think they practice with the team full time. I think it's almost like a pool of emergency goalies to where it's like, yo, if both these goalies get hurt, it's your job, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they have to show up at the stadium certain time, and they just there on standby, and they never get called. Maybe you hear about it once every hockey season, right? The emergency goalie played, if that. But do y'all think it's time for the NFL to go that route with quarterbacks, and how should it look? Because it could be a competitive disadvantage, when it comes to 53-man roster, all that good shit. But it could be a competitive disadvantage if you have that extra quarterback that knows the full playbook. But do you think it should be some sort of thing where they have like a group of quarterbacks on standby? Okay, maybe they don't know the full playbook, but if one team's quarterback go down, they got somebody to come in. How should this work, bro? Because you
No, I
can't
think
have this happen in NFC Championship game again, bro.
I like where you're going with that, Bryce, but I think they should know the playbook and all that. I think it should be something as simple as whoever your practice squad guy is, he's probably there. He's probably just not dressed in pads. So let's say all your QBs go down for whatever reason in the game. Allow him to go put pads on that you certainly have at the stadium and come into the game. In that type of scenario, that would make a lot of sense to me as your emergency quarterback. He
but the
could go
thing
from
about that is,
inactive to active.
but the thing about that is like, okay, like then does it create a competitive disadvantage in any sort of way? Because it's like, yo, now you're going to see team. You know how the NFL works, bro. Now it's going to be teams utilizing that spot for their developmental quarterback or for, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it got to be done in a way where like if this is like, yo, the like emergency shit don't be pretty, bro. Like the fire extinguisher, bro, that shit can be that shit. It don't matter how it looks. It just supposed to when you press it, it's just supposed to work, bro. Like I feel like they just need to have like literally an emergency option to the point where, hey, bro, you just need a quarterback at this point because you would have rather I would have rather had somebody off the street literally that plays quarterback at a professional level than to have Christian McCaffrey back there trying to launch passes, running around like a chicken before he launched it.
I like what you were saying though with the development guy. That might be an all right idea to have that be your developmental guy.
I don't know. I feel like it got to be some real competitive disadvantage. Like, yo, both teams got the same quarterback. If something go wrong, yo, this is the emergency guy.
You want to punish people for their QBs getting injured? Tua got another concussion.
You're not punishing.
Punishment.
No, Rome. The punishment is having Christian McCaffrey back there, quarterback running around like a chicken. The punishment is having no quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give an option. I'm not trying to punish nobody. I'm trying to just give an emergency option. Hey, look, I even think they should mandate having 3 quarterbacks on your roster. But I think when they do that, they should still have an emergency quarterback. Because if all 3 of them quarterbacks happen to go down on some fluke shit in the first quarter of a Super Bowl, the last thing I want to watch is Christian McCaffrey running around or name that running back running around like a chicken for 4 quarters because all the quarterbacks got hurt on some fluke shit.
Nah, look, I see where you're going, but I totally disagree. Our practice squad quarterback managed to win 10-something games. You know what I'm saying? He managed to get us deep into the playoffs. Purdy was our practice squad guy. But I feel like that analogy it's not really apples to apples because a goalie, right? If I come in and I'm in the net, the puck can only come at me, right? I might have a better defense in front of me, maybe not, but like I'm just blocking shots at the end of the day. The quarterback has to know the plays. He has to know the guys. He has to kind of know how guys run their routes. You know what I'm saying? The little nuances like, hey, when we get that matchup, this guy likes to stop early. So what I think, though, is you play McCaffrey in a traditional role. And watching Deebo Samuels, watching some
in a traditional quarterback role?
Hold on. Listen, hear me out, right? Hear me out.
Come on, man.
Hold on. Hear me out. I guarantee you on every NFL roster, there's at least 7 guys that played quarterback in high school.
Yes, bro. But there's professional quarterbacks, right, that make it to the NFL playing professional quarterback. They can't complete a damn pass, bro. Like, you know, I feel you, bro. But that's out the window when it comes to professional quarterback in the NFL,
right? So when somebody like McCaffrey, right, because I'm pretty sure McCaffrey can throw the ball relatively accurately. I'm pretty sure he can throw the ball 50, 60 yards. And
hey, that pass I saw in that game,
that was also a trick play. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a traditional shotgun. That was some sort of random trick play that they probably practice once or twice every practice. But if you have an entire package, right? Remember the Eagles used to have that package with who was the running back? Ron Brown or something?
Yeah, Ronnie Brown. I remember Ronnie Brown. Yeah.
They had that package. I think if you create an emergency package for McCaffrey, you are in a much better spot than having an emergency play or coming in and say just hand the ball off.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. But an emergency package for Christian McCaffrey, bro. Nobody wants to watch that in an NFC Championship game. That's the same
if you have an emergency package for Christian McCaffrey, you're probably gonna have 10 to 15 plays in there. 7 to 10 of them are gonna be runs.
Yeah, you're gonna.
It's gonna be a very predictable. It's gonna take you back to Pop Warner.
All right, here's what they should do, yo. Here's what they should do, bro. They should have a group of quarterbacks, right? They should have 32. They should have. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Let's say they got 28 quarterbacks because it's a bye week or every week for most of the season, right? So let's say you got 30 quarterbacks, whatever, right? You get assigned your quarterback 3 days before the game, bro. 3 days before the game. That's enough to put in every
Who's
emergency play you want to put in, yo.
who's
Everybody
paying
is
these people?
bro,
I'm
the
paying
league
this
paying
dude for
them. The
three
league
for
paying
three
them.
days every
No,
random
no, no.
week.
The league paying them, bro. The league paying them because they listen, bro. They're gonna do something to fix this problem. They're not gonna let that shit happen again. Trust me. So what they got to do is they got to have a pool of quarterbacks. You get your quarterback 3 days before the game, bro. You don't get them all season. You don't get to groom them. You don't get no competitive advantage with it. You just get a random guy, a random selection, man. Good luck.
That's what Josh Johnson was, right? He's been on
Yeah, that's
all
the 40 what the only thing the 49ers really need to do
Bro, that's what I'm
different
saying. He
is
went down.
what you said, Bryce, which is have three QBs on your active roster, on your game day roster. That's what really should have happened. Because once they had to go back to Brock Purdy, he couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards, 2 yards anymore, and it was just completely uncompetitive. And let's be honest, look at the two QBs in the Super Bowl, man. You're not really doing anything. We can talk about this a lot, but you're not really doing anything if you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field. It's 2023. And that's just what it's got to be. I mean, we Commanders fans, Bryce. We sat through Taylor Heineke all season. You need a guy
Bro,
that can throw the football down the field.
I don't. This is me literally agreeing with you. This is why I'm saying you have to have an emergency quarterback, bro. I
Bro,
don't
you
want
know
to
what you
see.
sound like?
I
You
don't
sound
want
like
to
the
see Brock
MLB when
Purdy.
you
I don't want
call
to see
people
Brock.
up from the minor league. That's
Bro,
what
I
it
don't want to
sounds
see
like.
Brock Purdy having a short arm passes with a torn UCL because we don't have a backup quarterback plan. Like, what's going on, bro? I don't
Bro,
want to ever see this
it's a
again.
freak situation for the
It's
49ers.
not the first time it's happened, though, bro.
When
This
is the
has
last time
happened
it
before.
happened? When is the last time it happened?
Right? Didn't Rome just tell you I'm a Commanders fan, bro? You know how many quarterbacks we
That
lose?
has nothing to do. You guys never been to no championship game. Period. When has this
No,
ever
Oh,
no,
happened in a
G.
oh
championship
This,
game?
my
this is what you're missing, G. This is what you're missing.
But this is the issue. It
I'm
was
talking
a
about
championship
quarterbacks getting.
game.
Listen. I'm talking about quarterbacks getting knocked out the game and ruining the product, bro, on the biggest stage. But we'll
Exactly.
see.
So yo, why are we going back to the oh my god, why are we going
We'll
back to
see.
the Commanders
We'll
conversation?
see what the no. We'll see what the league does about it. But I guarantee you this: they're gonna do something. They're gonna do
No, they're
something.
not.
Hey,
Yeah, they
all
are.
right.
Yeah,
So
they are. Yeah, they are.
on the same vein
But
though, I want to
20 bucks.
stay here because speaking of Purdy and his elbow, we've talked a bunch on the show, and T has come out and said it. We can run this tape. That Purdy was the man. He was the guy. It was his team. Now he's got 6 months of rehab. Trey Lance has his rehab. I believe they're probably still gonna move on from Garoppolo. So what is the 49ers situation looking like in the future here at QB? Jump ball.
Oh, it's easy. You, you gotta keep Trey Lance. You gotta play that he's that guy that you drafted for. Because you can't trade for Lamar Jackson. Because I'm sure they're not gonna want to give it crazy for him. You can't trade for Aaron Rodgers because you know Green Bay's not gonna trade within the conference. And Tom Brady's a toss up, and I was like, do you really want to? I mean, you could wish to have Tom Brady in that quarterback room, but does Tom Brady want to go from Florida back to California?
The rumors are that I don't know. For some reason, there's a ton of rumors tying Brady to San Fran. Personally, I don't know how much merit any of them hold, but I've seen a lot of rumors tying that man to San Fran. T man, does this open the door back up? Is Purdy still the man, or does his injury open the door back up for your boy Trey Lance?
I think Trey Lance is back in the driver's seat. Uh, Brady's the wild card, right? Because Brady could want to go back to California, and I think as an organization, as a coach, you would be crazy not to at least explore the option. I wouldn't, just because of age, and if we couldn't block for Purdy and, and Garoppolo, Brady's gonna die back there. But I think that Lance is back in the driver's seat. I went from hearing Lance would be ready near OTAs to, oh no, he's good in 3-4 weeks. Like, in
Yeah.
the course of one weekend, my man moved his date all the way back up. So I think he knows, like, yeah, because think about it, if you're Lance, right, and the doctor says you probably should wait till June, but you might, you can go on it if it feels better. I don't care how it feels, I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't care how it
The
feels.
way the way Purdy was playing, yeah.
Yeah.
So how much pressure does Lance come in now that you have somebody like Purdy there that literally should have the starting job once he comes back?
Yeah.
Um, it's obviously a lot of pressure. If I'm Lance, right, I don't try to add more pressure. I just come in and be myself because you can't beat a ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like my man did what he did, and that's out there. All you can do is be yourself, and hopefully it shakes out. But there is the offhand chance that they trade Lance for somebody like Kirk Cousins. You take a cap hit trading your first round quarterback, but uh, trading Lance isn't out of the question. The 49ers don't have a pick till the third round. We have 11 picks, but not to the third round. So, um, but to answer the question, if I'm Lance, it's a ton of pressure. It's a ton of pressure, but you've been in the pressure and you got injured. So I think now you saw somebody that you saw. If you're Lance, right, you might. I don't know how Lance feels about Purdy, but if I'm Lance, I think I got the better arm, the better athleticism, and watching what he did gives me an indication of how I should go forward. Oh, I would have looked here. He went here. That's probably the right play. Now I got an idea of how to run this offense a little bit better. Um, if I'm Lance, I'm a little bit more comfortable. I know the team now, and it's a lot of pressure, but I think he's fine. I think he'll be all right.
So Lance back in the driver's seat. All right, Bryce. Before we move on, real quick, man, what are your thoughts? You buying into these Brady rumors, or you think the 49ers are going to stick with Purdy, Lance?
But I don't know. If Lance gets traded, bro, that's almost like quarterback purgatory. Being a first round pick and getting traded, it's tough to bounce back from. Only quarterback I can think that bounced back from that is probably Drew Brees for real, man. I don't know, bro. I like Trey Lance a lot. I like him coming out of college, but I think Purdy's going to having a stranglehold on that job. I think he's earned it, man. I mean, you take a team that far. Granted, it's not like he did. It's not like he did it for an entire season. So I do like the idea that T floated around of a veteran quarterback that's more established, maybe competing with Purdy. Even if it was Garoppolo to come back and compete with Purdy, I'd like that idea. I think Garoppolo maybe wins that battle out. You never know. I don't think the team was much better with Purdy than they were with Garoppolo. Uh, Looked like the same team to me. In fact, I don't know. I thought they were a little more explosive with Garoppolo this year than with Purdy. I'd have to check the stats to confirm that. I thought when Garoppolo came back, he was pushing the ball downfield a little more than I was used to seeing him do. So I wouldn't be shocked if they just go that route and go Purdy and Garoppolo and just ignore all the rumors. I don't see the Brady thing happening though.
Yeah, I feel like the Brady thing is a bit of a stretch. But man, I felt like Brady to the Buccaneers was a stretch at the time too. I also thought Brady was going. He did this whole retirement thing last year, so you never know, man. You never know. Brady he's kind of one player in the NFL that does what he does, and then all the other chips kind of sway how they sway. So we'll see how this offseason goes.
Wait, they saying
But
9 to 18 months for his rehab?
Potentially, he needs Tommy John. Potentially,
Oh,
oh,
it's
Oh
Tommy
yeah, I
John.
wanted I
wow!
wanted to I wanted to ask y'all this. So
Right.
I hate comparing people's injuries, but T just gave us the timeline on Lance's injury, and we see the timeline here in the comments on Purdy. I believe it's like 6 to 18 months, 9 to 18 months, something wild like that.
Wait, but
Um,
I heard it was just like 6 months, but I didn't know it was this bad.
so
This,
he has a multiple. Like he's exploring all these options, right? Some people, I think, some doctors are saying 6 months. Some doctors are saying Tommy John. Some are saying it can heal on its own. So he's trying to figure out a way to hold that starting spot. I guarantee you, because if you were already the starter and you've been in the league a few years, you had some money, you would just take probably the Tommy John and sit out. But Tommy John, the pitchers come back stronger than ever. So if you do get it, opportunity might be
nah,
gone out
yeah,
with the arm.
the Tommy John surgery. A lot of people get it younger now because it does end up strengthening your arm over time, but. Um, I mean, like T just alluded to, Brett Purdy's got the spot. He's gonna want to hold on to it. But does an injury like this with his elbow, where a quarterback like Purdy, who's not really mobile like that, relies on his arm, does this hurt him more than the ankle injury for Trey Lance, who does kind of need to rely on his athleticism? Because it feels like the ankle injury might be easier to come
yeah,
back from.
You talking about 18 months, right? Because it's Tommy John, probably 18 months, right? The worst. If that's the case, that's
Yeah,
what two. That's two NFL seasons, damn near.
that's
At least
gonna be yeah. It's gonna be two
I
seasons,
mean,
bro.
Yeah, you can't.
on 2024, you looking at Purdy coming
You're
back.
done. He's done. He can't
He's
afford that, bro.
done.
He
He
as
can't
a
afford
Yeah,
that.
he
if he's
Well,
a
won't.
he,
first
It
round
won't be
pick,
that long.
if he's a first round pick, he can afford that. If he showed that he had an NFL arm and athleticism, he could afford that.
but
Don't get
he
me
did
wrong.
show that
The kid played
that
great,
arm,
bro.
bro. That arm,
The
it
kid
wasn't bad.
squeezed, bro. The kid squeezed his entire limit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Oh,
looking at
come
somebody that
on
was like, bro,
now.
this. All right, man. I'm just saying, bro. He can't afford to let that job go. And T,
Not for
you right,
18
bro.
months.
You right, T. That man probably exploring every single option because you leave that job, bro. You got Garoppolo who wants that job bad as hell and already proved he can make the Super Bowl. You got Trey Lance, first round top 5 pick. Come on, bro. The odds are stacked against him, my man. Hey, I will say this though. That man earned my respect, bro. Complete UCL tear. That man's still in the game throwing passes, bro. Like, gotta respect that, dog.
I
Gotta
say
respect.
this right. If you're Brock Purdy, you gamble on yourself. You get that surgery because Lance is going to be on a short leash. If he's played bad the first 5 games of next season, they're going to bench him. And if you keep Garoppolo, it's only a matter of time before he gets hurt again, and you're back on it again. You're back on top. Same scenario, but without Trevor Lance getting hurt. I think if you're Purdy, you go get the surgery, you come back. Whenever you come back, and the job is yours again, anyways. Because like we all said, it, he won the job.
It don't
It's not
work
like
like that, bro. The NFL changes too quick now. Back in the day, maybe, but now, bro, a year out of the NFL is like three to 4 years out of any other sport, bro. You out for it. Look at Deshaun Watson, bro. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong.
but
That's
that's
my
two
dog.
years
He
though.
got a whole bunch of
Two
bread,
years.
but he's
Here,
a top
let me
dude, bro. He's an elite quarterback. He's out
let me
for 2 seasons. He looked like a shell of himself.
let me ask you this, G. Since we're talking about players that are missing a lot of time, who's gonna pick up Odell next year?
Who is it? I think it's all about Odell finding out where he's gonna want to, what quarter, what duo he could be in. For me, it's what duo do he wants to be with. Because we know he's gonna be the first receiver. I think,
You
I
miss
think,
you miss
I
you miss
think
a year
Odell.
of football, and your stock drops like no other.
Yeah, but it's and we still wanted. Team still wanted him. Well, and knowing that he was gonna be out for a whole year, team still wanted him.
People are not gonna be banging at Odell's door next year or this
I,
offseason.
I
Trust me
doubt
on
it.
that.
Bro,
I doubt it.
you know how many flash in the pan quarterbacks has been over the last 5, 10 years, bro? Dudes that just have like one nice season and you be like, oh my good. I'm hoping Geno Smith season wasn't one of those. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can remember when Case Keenum on the Vikings, bro,
Hmm.
damn near had an all pro season,
Mm,
bro. Like
yeah,
I can
that
remember,
was a good year.
bro, that man was throwing touchdowns left and right, bro.
Yeah, that
Like I can
was.
remember when
That's
like
Thielen and Diggs. Yeah, you're right. When
like
Oh,
Thielen had that coming out season, that's crazy. You're right.
I mean, and now and then look, the next year, bro, he don't even got a job. He not even guaranteed a starting job the very next
But
year. And then 2 years
but
later, he's looked at like he's just a
A
journeyman, bro.
bum,
but
yeah.
but
And
see,
that's
that's
after
the
having
thing
a
though.
great
The
season.
difference between that it was he had Kirk Cousins that he was backing up for. So it wasn't like you
I think
know.
that's before Cousin even got there, bro.
No, that was during the Cousins. That's when Cousins got hurt.
I was hurt.
Nah, that's before Cousins even got there,
Yeah,
bro.
that they switched from Keenum to Cousins because we ended up with Keenum.
Yeah, they that's
But
before Cousins even got there, bro. Keenum was with that was with Shermer was with Pat Shermer, I believe, was the offensive coordinator at the time with the
So,
Vikings. But my
you know,
point, we on a tangent, but my point is though, bro, you a quarterback, man. It's a short shelf life. It's what have you done for me recently, man? You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters. And I think Brock Purdy needs to do everything he can to stay on that football field, bro. Because I think if he comes back right now, the job is his. If he's able to start next season, he's number one on the depth chart. You got to say going into camp, right, T?
yeah, for sure. I mean, if he was healthy, for sure.
all right, well, it'll be an interesting off season in San Fran, and again, the man to keep an eye on will be Tom Brady because he might just blow the whole thing up. But let's move on to some quarterbacks that we know are the number one quarterbacks for their team. Let's talk about the AFC Championship. Let's talk about Pat Mahomes. Let's talk about Joe Burrow. The Bengals came in there talking big trash, calling it Burrowhead. Burrow was 3-0. The Bengals were 3-0 against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Head into it, now they're 3-1, and that one is a loss and a dub for the Chiefs that gets them to the Super Bowl. It seemed to me like the Chiefs were relishing in all the trash talk at the end, you know. So what was y'all's takeaway from that game, real quick, man? Let's get everybody's quick thoughts on that one.
Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coach because he had what, like three rookies in that defense or five rookies that balled out a little bit this offseason, this preseason, I mean this postseason. I just want to say I was impressed by Steve Spagnuolo, and I'm more impressed by Patrick Mahomes, man, with no weapons. Damian only had Pacheco and Case, Travis Kelsey. That's how he won that game. If you would have told me that, I would have betted the Bengals all the way.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
Good
man,
point.
that's an excellent point.
Because it seemed like I don't know, bro. It seemed like the Bengals were in the fight. Like honestly, bro, it seemed like the Bengals came to fight. At first, it seemed like the Chiefs were going to take the game over, right? After I guess the first quarter and a half, right? And then it seemed like the Bengals just woke up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And once they woke up, it seemed like they were ready for the fight. But Chiefs just kept trying to pull away, kept trying to pull away. And every time the Chiefs tried to pull away, a Patrick Mahomes mistake let the Bengals back in the game, bro. Luckily for the Chiefs, Burrow started making a few mistakes here and there too. But it was like, damn, bro. Like some of the stuff Pat Mahomes was doing was like, dog, are you trying to win? Like, I don't know if y'all remember the one play where he just gave the ball to the other team, bro. Like he dropped back, and I don't know if he didn't even like cock back and throw the ball. It's like the ball just fell out of his hands while he was like dropping back or something. And I'm just like, bro, what is going on, bro? Like, it was real weird. It was really weird. But yeah, man, that was a lot of mistakes for the Chiefs, bro. They're gonna need more than 23 points to beat the Eagles, bro. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I could understand that. I think the big thing in that game was the Chiefs defense. Chris Jones and all the pass rushers getting to Joe Burrow. I don't think it'll be that easy though against that Philly O line. But T, what were your thoughts on that AFC Championship?
Um, Not to bet against Mahomes. Like the Chiefs are man, and when you're a puncher, sometimes you get hit. So you make the mistakes, you have them turnovers, but Chiefs are just going to keep punching and keep punching and keep punching. So you got to keep punching and keep punching. And uh, I felt like the Bengals had a chance. You know, they had the ball and couldn't keep punching. But the Eagles um, are punchers too. So I think you're going to see a slugfest. I think this is a game that favors the Eagles. But back to the Chiefs Bengals. Um, I told you guys Joe Burrow would never make it back. You know what I'm saying? Um, he's 0 for 1 against my prediction.
Wait, you
Over
said the
one
same
against
thing
your
about Patrick
prediction.
Mahomes.
Dude is 23 or 24 years old. All right, he got 13 more years to go. To get one on your prediction, bro.
No, I'm hoping he plays till he's like 43, so I can say, bro, I was right for like 20 years. You know,
Monster.
I really don't think he's going to get by. I expect Russ to reemerge. I expect Watson to reemerge. I expect Lamar to stay in the AFC. I expect Josh Allen to remain a constant threat. I expect Patrick Mahomes to be Patrick Mahomes. So it ain't even really so much that I hate Joe Burrow. It's just that the field is so crowded, man, that he could end up like Tim Kelly, right? We know you're all-time great, but we don't know you for more than anything other than being a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's such a tough. I thought it was crazy when you made it because of how young he was, but like, bro, for the man to only be 24 or whatever he is, bro, to say that is like, that's crazy.
I mean, I'm just looking because the other guys in his generation are young guys too. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Russ, like you're going to be playing Herbert, you're going to be playing Lawrence. You can play a lot of these guys for a long time. So uh, I can't see it, man. I don't know. I don't know. But he's a better quarterback than I gave him credit for. So I do want to apologize for that. I didn't think he was the guy, but he's a good quarterback. But yeah,
Interesting. So Well, one thing I wanted to shift the convo a little bit. Keep talking about the Chiefs. Is what I noticed, and I don't know if people are talking about this enough, man. Is just the overall greatness of Pat Mahomes. So the Chiefs have been in the last five AFC championships. They've made it to the last now four of five Super Bowls. So where are we ranking Pat when it really comes to greatness? I mean, at the beginning of the season, I believe Bryce said Josh Allen was the 1B, the Patrick Mahomes 1A. You know, we've debated a lot about these other quarterbacks. I think ESPN did something crazy where they put Josh Allen in a tier by himself and then Pat Mahomes and a bunch of other people, which was ridiculous. But I'm starting to feel like Patrick Mahomes is really pulling away from this group of QBs that he's playing against, and you really got to start comparing them to other greats from other eras. I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts on Patrick Mahomes.
Uh, I'm gonna give you a and B. Brady's obviously one. Montana might be 2A and Mahomes might be 2B. Like,
Already, that's a
No,
pretty great
no,
bold statement.
bro,
no.
to make it that far, that consistent, you have to use the word dynasty, right? And there's not that many dynasty quarterbacks. Jim Kelly was one. I still consider the Buffalo a dynasty, even though they never won the Super Bowl. But that's the type of prestige that we should be talking about Patrick Mahomes in. And if you talk to kids will tell you, right? Kids got unbiased, unfiltered eyes, right? They just see the world for what they believe it to be and what it is. And kids will tell you, bro, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm aligned to believe the kids, man. I believe the children are the future.
Yeah, hey, I feel the kids. They right in that. They right in that regard. Pat Mahomes is definitely like he's that dude. He's that dude. But when you start talking about that GOAT conversation, I think that conversation gets a little more nuanced than just the eye test. You know what I'm saying? The eye test tells me that Pat Mahomes might be the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just watching. But I also gotta go with like accomplishments over time. And I think that's the thing about accomplishments. They happen over time. I can't just be like, yo, he's ahead of Peyton Manning in the GOAT conversation.
He's
I
not.
can't I can't do that, bro.
He's not
Huh?
ahead. Not ahead of Peyton
All
already.
right, you had a little list and you did not say Peyton on that little list you went through. So
He,
that's why
So
I'm
where's
like,
Troy Aikman on your
I'm
list?
thinking,
he's already
nah,
ahead. In my mind.
all right, I feel you, and I feel you. Like, so you're basing it off like he's the best quarterback I've ever seen, like not like he's the GOAT. Because greatest of all time, I feel like there's a lot into play. But let me not just do that and just focus on that. Remember, yo, Rome pointed out, man, a point that I was attempting to make before the season with the 1A 1B conversation with Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, which I've since I'm off the Josh Allen bandwagon since, people. But if y'all remember this thing I said before the season as well, I was saying how tough. Maybe I said it before the playoffs last year. How tough it is, yo, to get to a Super Bowl, bro.
You did.
And how impressed I was gonna be if Pat Mahomes made three straight. And I was gonna be more impressed with Pat Mahomes making three straight than I would have been with Pat Mahomes winning one, bro. Like that's how impressive it is to me just to make the Super Bowl, bro. And I feel like this guy going back to the bowl again, bro, is is almost almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable that he's in there that often, yo. When you think about the parity in the NFL, and when you think about how this team, how we see teams that are able to make it with quarterbacks on a rookie deal, right? Pat Mahomes gets his bag, so the team has to sacrifice vital pieces like a Tyreek Hill, bro. Another piece on the defense that's I can't think of, but this team had to sacrifice pieces on
Honey
their
Badger.
offense. The Honey Badger, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, Tyrann Mathieu, like
Came from the Chiefs.
who else?
The various Ward.
Travarius
Yep.
Ward, right? You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Like,
shit!
bro, it's more dudes, bro. It's more dudes. So they had to sacrifice all these players, and when you see that happen right now, right? That's like purgatory for a team. Usually, you know what I'm saying? A lot of teams, once they got to pay that quarterback and they got to, allocate those funds just to that QB.
Seahawks.
Look at the Exhibit A, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Rams, bro. The Rams, that cap hitting for Matt Stafford now. It ain't look so pretty. It ain't look so pretty in LA, right? So yo, it's real impressive that Pat Mahomes is that great that all right, you take away a few of my pieces, I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? That shit is impressive. And I can't take that away from him. When it comes to GOAT conversation, I'm not ready to put him like top 3 quarterbacks of all time yet. Just because, to me it happens over time, bro.
Hold on, I'm
But
gonna just
All right, Bryce. So
eye
hold on,
test.
hold on real
He
quick.
got me.
so
He got the
all right,
number
go ahead,
one
T.
nine.
Go
Real
ahead.
quick. Just want to speak to put him up there with Brady and Manning. Brady and Montana, right? Montana, it was Super Bowl or bust, right? Anything less than the Super Bowl in the '80s was a disappointment. Brady with the Patriots, right? Anything less than the Super Bowl is a disappointment. Mahomes, same thing. Anything less in his era than a Super Bowl is a disappointing season. I don't think we can't name any other quarterbacks that it wasn't that for Payton. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that for eight. It wasn't that for Young. Like
I'm not
T
to that
T
point
is
with
T
Pat
is
Mahomes.
hitting it though.
I'm not to that point with Pat Mahomes yet, yo.
okay,
Where it's anything less than the Super Bowl, bro. I'm not to that point with him yet, yo. I'm really
Bryce,
not
you
because
you even said though, what was it? If you would have got three straight Super Bowls, if you would have made it last season, that would have been three straight, and then you would have elevated him, right? Well, what's
no,
three out of four?
I said three straight. I said three straight appearances, bro, and that to me is as good as is winning a ring. That's as hard to me. That's as difficult as a challenge as winning one Super Bowl ring.
So what's three appearances out of four AFC straight AFC championships,
Bro,
five
it's
straight AFC
greatness.
championships.
It's greatness. It's greatness. But until you start winning them things, it ain't no disappointment if you don't win it. Like it was
Over
an achievement. Making it
over
still.
over
It's still an
over the course,
achievement,
you said
bro.
greatness happens over the course of time. Over
Right,
the course of the last 5 years, the AFC championship has only known Patrick Mahomes. The AFC has only known beating Patrick Mahomes to achieve getting the ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl. That's all anyone in the AFC has known. That's been everybody's goal in the AFC
and in
for the
that
last
same
5 years.
span, Rome, he only has one ring, bro. And that, hey, I'm with you. I'm with, bro. I just told you how great of a feat it is. I'm with you. But in that 5 year span, or 4 years, I guess, he got one ring to show for it. All right, cool. I don't think that it's like, yo, Super Bowl or bust for Pat Mahomes, because to me, a Super Bowl or bust guy is like, that's a LeBron. Like, that's Super Bowl or bust. Brady, yes, that's Super Bowl or bust. He's only playing for the Super Bowl right now. Like,
The
I don't
the
know if I'm there with
the
Pat yet.
only person to really repeat and get more than one ring like that in the history of the NFL at QB has really been Brady.
That's false, bro.
Brady's the only
That's
person in
false.
the
That's
last
false.
in the last
Kurt,
5 years
all
to
right,
get
fine.
another ring.
5 years. 5 years, yes, because nobody does it
Nobody.
over.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
Nobody does it.
because it's
That
only been
you
about
know.
10. It's only been, all right, bro. 5 years, yeah. Nobody's won back-to-back rings in 5 years, but plenty of quarterbacks done did it. Roethlisberger got multiple.
Yeah,
Kurt
yeah.
Warner got multiple. How many Aaron Rodgers got? He got one, right? Somebody else I'm missing though. Somebody else I'm missing has. It'll come to me.
that's
Somebody
Well,
else
Eli.
got.
look, I'm not making my
Somebody else
Super
got.
Bowl
Somebody else got
prediction
multiple
yet,
rings.
but
Eli.
but I think we can
Eli
project
got.
that
Eli
that
got multiple. There you go. How you
I
not gonna
think we
pull that?
can.
How you not gonna pull that? G. He's a
Well,
bum.
I can't.
He's a
Y'all
bum.
talking what?
He's a bum,
What?
bro. He's
I
a
know you're not
bum,
talking
bro.
to me, you bozo. You a bozo. Don't you ever call me no bum, you bozo. What's wrong with you?
I had to wake
Yo,
you up, bro. You was over there asleep, man. I had to
I
wake
wasn't
you up.
even sleep. Y'all talking about man. Listen, man. Patrick Mahomes. When we talk about current NFL players, it's no longer a B or A to it. It's just Patrick Mahomes, then Joe Burrow, then Josh Allen, and then whoever freak you want to put in the next last two spots. The conversation is over about having him compare him to another player in a 1A or 1B conversation. It's no longer that one because of Patrick Mahomes. It's just Patrick Mahomes.
He ain't no damn
Thank
tiger
you.
versus. He ain't
Yes,
no damn tiger
bro.
versus the field,
I
bro.
and I,
Stop it.
that's why I brought up this subject because I think we all need to start talking about when we do QB rankings. It needs to
Tiger was leaving
be
with green jackets.
Patrick Mahomes is the best. Now here's my top five because Patrick Mahomes being in your top five means there's nobody in that's playing football right now that you can legitimately rank above Pat Mahomes, and that's just the
No,
God's honest
No,
truth.
no, no. There's nobody above him. There's nobody. Well,
No,
I don't know, bro. A
It's
strong
Pat
ass,
Mahomes
a
versus
strong
goats right
ass,
now.
a strong ass Brady season, bro. A strong ass Brady
No,
season
man.
puts him back in the
See,
combo
I hate when
for
y'all start
me.
comparing
For me,
about
bro.
now and
Like,
start putting Opens old achievements. Talking about now.
bro,
That's
Brady
not
just
Tom
had
Brady.
Brady was on Super Bowl MVP level last year, bro. Now he had a down year, but I'm just saying, like, yes. Okay, let me put it like this, bro. Pat Mahomes just had an outstanding, unbelievable season when nobody else really had, like, I say Josh Allen did to an extent, but like nobody else had that no one else really had an unbelievable season, bro. Like at quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And last year that wasn't the case, bro. Last year there was a couple spectacular quarterback performances in the NFL. And I feel like I'm just being real, bro. Pat Mahomes is benefiting a little bit from that right now on a lot of people's rankings because these same people that are swearing, bro, up and down that you know what I'm saying that like, yo, y'all was talking crazy last year, and y'all even went as far as to compare Pat Mahomes to Justin freaking Herbert just some months ago, bro. I was there for that. I was
Who was
there for
that?
that, bro. I
Who
was
said
there.
that?
Hey, I ain't gonna say no names, but that man chuckling
Who,
right
who,
now.
who,
That
who
man
said
chuckling
Baby
right
Phillips
now, bro.
was better than
I'm
Patrick
not
Yo,
Mahomes?
saying no
yo,
names, but that man is
wow,
chuckling right
wow.
now.
Now
So this
we're
is my
now we're
point.
reaching.
This is my point, though, bro. Pat Mahomes balling on another level right now, but yo, that's that. I gotta keep seeing more until I'm on GOAT status with him, with Brady, and you know, even man, I don't even put him past Manning in my all time yet.
Pat
He gonna have the
Mahomes
three pick.
Tiger Woods
has
He
versus the
gonna have the three
field.
pick one
That's
time. One
it's not
time.
Tiger Woods versus the field right now, bro. No, it's not that type of dominance, in my opinion, bro.
most
He
total
gonna have
yards in
to
the
three pick.
season,
Three pick.
most
Three pick.
most most touchdown passes in a postseason. Like, look, Pat Mahomes, he's got records. He's gonna be MVP. He's gonna have multiple Super Bowl rings when it's all said and done. Bryce, you know where you know what it is. I know you see it. I know you see the greatness of this Pat Mahomes,
Yeah,
man.
bro. I don't deny Pat Mahomes great. See, and that's what happens, Joe. And you know, I don't. I'm not trying to act like I'm a Pat Mahomes hater, bro. I'm one of the biggest Pat Mahomes fans, bro. Like,
Cap.
but no cap, no cap.
Cap.
But
Go get yourself a Chiefs
I'm
jersey and
not
leave
going
all
to
that Commander shit away. Throw that shit in the garbage.
sit your ass up, bro.
Make your life a little bit better. Go be a
What
Chiefs
you,
fan,
what
and I
you talking
respect
about?
you a little bit more.
Listen, my point is though, bro. Like, yo, nobody is above like the lens, bro. And even at looking at Pat Mahomes, bro, I'm pulling out the lens, bro, and we're gonna look at this a little closer. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look at this as closely as possible with all the past data from other quarterbacks too. And I think he's on that trajectory, no doubt. But like Tiger Woods versus the field, it's not that level of dominance I'm seeing. He put up 23 points, and y'all talk about Tiger Woods versus the field.
I think
Yo, Tiger Woods versus the field is we running through people, bro. What?
I think Mahomes is playing on a broke ankle. I still do. I watched him.
All right,
Hmm.
bro. That if he is, he is. But I can only judge the result, bro. I can't give him a handicap result. I can't give him a handicap score. Are you playing with a broke ankle, so your B is really an A plus? Nah, bro. Whatever you put out on that field is what I got. What I get to judge. He put up 23 points in a game where I felt like he made some critical mistakes. Where I felt like if the Bengals were a really good team, they would have capitalized on the mistakes and they would have had about 31, and it's not even we're not even talking about Pat Mahomes like that. Honestly, bro, if Osai don't push him in the back, it's a 62-yard field goal. They probably don't kick that. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Who knows if they get it or not? But I'm just saying, bro, like that game wasn't no convincing fashion to me. If that's convincing fashion to y'all and that looked like Tiger Woods versus the field, A and B, I'm usually with you, bro. But if that 23-20 victory like Tiger Woods versus the field to you, then so be it. But to me, when
Look,
Tiger Woods versus the field, we running through something, bro. Like
look,
that's not what it is.
you just took Pat Mahomes, all of his accomplishments, everything that we just said, all the greatness that we just talked about, and shoved it all into a 23-20 victory over the Bengals and tried to tell me and convince me that that means he's not as great as we just said he is. Like
No.
he
He's exactly as
because he
great.
didn't emphatically beat the Bengals. What about when he was emphatically beating those teams 2, 3 years ago? What about the fact that this is literally the fourth Super Bowl appearance in the last 5 years by Pat Mahomes. Like that
bro.
doesn't constitute greatness. We have
No,
to
I
be
said he's
hung up
great.
on a
He's great.
3-point win.
He's great, bro. But this is you see this comment I'm addressing right now? I'm a man of the people. I'm gonna address the people directly. When I see things like Tiger Woods versus the field, it's not that type of dominance that I'm witnessing, bro. I've witnessed dominance. I saw Tiger Woods versus the field. I saw him be minus 18 and the next closest person minus 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 3 under versus 18 under is not that's dominance, bro. Stop with this Tiger Woods versus the field. Stop with this, like, yo, if this is Madden ratings and we're if Pat Mahomes is a 98, Josh Allen's like a 96, bro. So let's stop with that, bro.
All right, let me present it. Let me present it to you. Let me present it to you in a different way. Since we just said that Pat's been to 5 straight AFC championships, right? Who are the quarterbacks to beat him to get to the Super Bowl? Because there's only been 2. Tom Brady, and Joe Burrow last year. No, so it is Pat Mahomes versus the field because Brady switched conferences. He said, "I don't want to do that again." He said, "That was too hard. I'm gonna go to the NFC now. I'm gonna go join up with the Buccaneers." He said, "I don't want no more of that." That's what he did.
To beat him in the Super Bowl,
and then Burrow got his one, and like T said, he'll probably never get another one because it's Pat Mahomes versus the field. It's Pat Mahomes, the GOAT.
Hey, go ahead, Ron. You president of the Pat Mahomes fan club, and I respect that because that's a good wagon. That's a good a good buggy to hit your wagon to right there. I ain't mad at you, bro. You got to lead. That's the man. Hey, Pat Mahomes is the man.
I want to talk about
taking nothing from him.
Hold up. Never mind. I'm shifting to the Super Bowl. So whenever we talk Super Bowl, I'm with it.
All right, let's get in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's get in the Super Bowl.
Don't forget, fellas, we're going to be quick with the Super Bowl because we're going to be here next week again talking about the Super Bowl, right? So we ain't going to get y'all crazy. Maybe we get into a little y'all want to do predictions this week or y'all want to stay how y'all feeling?
Next week.
Yeah, we'll say the predictions for next week.
Then, yo. Early breakdowns, how y'all see the game going, who's going to be a key factor, stuff like that.
Hold on. Before we get into prediction and breakdown, I do want to ask, how do y'all feel about Andy Reid playing the Eagles? Like, I think that's a storyline that is flying under the radar a little bit. I don't know if it's a revenge game or what, but Eagles, former coach, I mean...
Hey, he couldn't get it done with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's a crazy storyline. It might be flying under the radar now, T, but trust me, I think we're gonna hear a lot about that one as the over the next couple of weeks. Really, this is a Scruff question. I would love to hear Scruff's answer on this.
All right, well, we can save it for next week then.
But hold up, real quick though. That's a great storyline, bro. And my man, you know what they say. You know what the kid ST would say. You know what the kids are saying. Sometimes you gotta get your lick back, man. And my boy Andy, big Andy, about to get his lick back, bro. He about to punish the Eagles. I shouldn't say punish him, but I think it's the perfect opportunity to to right a wrong because the Eagles wronged Andy Reid, bro. A year later, they won a Super Bowl with his team. You know what I'm saying? That's the old Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr. You know, the old Tony Dungy, John Gruden. We've seen that multiple times, right? And felt bad for the guy. So now he's gonna go back and get that lick back from Philly.
Hey, I think Andy will definitely be in his bag. I think he'll definitely be in his bag for this game. I don't know if he's gonna be solely focused on revenge per se, but he's gonna have something for him.
That Pat Mahomes shit matters though. That injury stuff. Pat better heal up, bro. Because I can't. I don't want no excuses, and 2, like. Yo, I want to see the game that we deserve, you know what I'm saying, for sitting through an entire NFL season and waiting for this. And we only get that game if Pat Mahomes is on his A game. You feel me? And he can't play like he played against the Bengals. You don't beat the Eagles playing like that.
It's going to be tough with the Eagles pass rushers. It's going to be tough.
Ammo, you came a little late, Ammo. We just addressed this. We'll get into it for 30 seconds for you, bro. No.
Yeah, quick summary. Yes. Pat Mahomes has the most passing touchdowns in postseason history, most passing yards in history, 5 straight AFC championships, 4 Super Bowl appearances, easily the GOAT of this generation.
I'm just messing with you.
No, he's behind Brady and Montana, but he, you know what I'm saying, he has the ability to pass Montana. But he's not the GOAT of all time. Like, come on, man. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, bro, he's behind Brady. He's behind Montana. He's behind Elway. He's behind Young. He's behind Manning, bro.
Bro,
Nah, no, I
Patrick
take Young off
Mahomes
the list.
is not
I take,
behind John
hey,
Elway.
I take Young off the list. Elway?
No.
3-chip Elway, bro. Come on, man.
Bro, you want to yo, and we probably don't have time to get all the way into this, but you want to talk about a white quarterback literally
No,
riding a black running back success to like Elway
Oh,
without Terrell Davis
Elway was
is
just a
a
quarterback.
bum.
Elway was a
Without Terrell
quarterback of
Davis,
my
we're not
childhood.
talking about him.
Y'all don't like Elway, bro? All
Wait,
right.
I like Terrell Davis.
I'll take Elway off the list.
I like Terrell Davis.
Pat Mahomes definitely better than Elway. But
I'll
Manning,
be damned if I
Peyton
have a
Manning is the
conversation
one.
about John Elway without Terrell Davis leading the way.
Peyton Manning is the one I can't put him over Peyton right now, bro. Like,
how
and then
about
y'all really gotta
Aikman? Can you
look
put
at
him
it,
over
but-
Aikman?
No, yeah, Aikman, yeah, he was great. And honestly, I was kind of jesting with Elway, and I almost said Favre, but I think Favre is better than Elway for real. So I wouldn't.
Why can't you put Pat over Peyton, Bryce?
The reason I can't put Pat over Peyton, first off, Peyton he's the second all-time passing yards leader in NFL history. Now, Pat Mahomes is on track to break that record, and I believe he will. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when that happens, it's all, but it is what it is. You feel me? But Peyton Manning, to me, revolutionized the way the quarterback position is played. He was the first true coach on the field. And I felt like Peyton Manning, man, it was a point when them receivers were getting hurt, and you could have put anyone in there, bro. You could have put anyone a receiver, and he was going to give him the ball. He was going to have 4,000-yard seasons every year, 50 touchdown seasons when that shit was unheard of. Then went to the Broncos and won a chip. Like, all-time GOAT status right now, I got Peyton over Pat Mahomes, bro. In a year or two, Pat Mahomes probably gets him. And, you know what I'm saying? After this Super Bowl, I might look at it and be like, yo, Pat got him. You feel me? But I got to go.
So is all right, I can see that. It's just because Peyton's got a little bit more of a resume at this moment. At this moment.
Shit, bro. Like, yo, you still got to do it, bro. You can look the part. You can pass the eye test. But, like, yo, you still got to do it, bro. And until it's done, I can't just be like, yo, you better than somebody that did it, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? In some instances, I can, but it's some I can't, bro.
I think if Pat wins this Super Bowl, it puts him above Peyton in a lot of people's minds. A lot of people's.
Probably right.
Peyton,
probably right.
Guys that were just guys, in my opinion. So, and everything he did,
Peyton was just a guy.
No, he lost to some guys that
were
guys, and also everything he did great. You know, revolutionized the quarterback Brady was doing too. So
Peyton had to go against Brady too.
You know what the knock on Peyton is two things. You just brought it up. Is one, Brady, who always seemed to beat him in the playoffs, and two, the fact that Peyton would just crumble in the playoffs. Peyton Manning has some of the all-time worst playoff games ever, really. Like, he would not be the same QB in the playoffs. It's very unlike anybody of his stature, of his greatness. I can't think of very many all-time greats that would get to do or die games and just melt down.
That's a fact, Rome. That's a fact, and that was the biggest issue with Peyton, right? And look, and B, you make a good point. And this is what I think what people do: compare Peyton's first 5 playoffs to Pat's, not even close. And you're right, bro. But I'm not doing that. Like, y'all asking me to compare Pat's 6 or 7 or 8 year career to Peyton's 15-year career when y'all say who's the GOAT over these two. Like, so it's like now I have to have a whole different weighting system in how I'm looking at it, bro. I can't just be like, yeah, you did this much for 7 years. Somebody did twice as much as you in 15 years. Like, now you don't get it. You don't get to go for that to me, bro.
Okay. I mean, it's the same reason I'm not going to put Luka over LeBron, even though he's going to break all his stats.
Right. Now, if Luka runs all 4 or 5 chips, breaks all the stats, all right, then I got to give it to him. But until he does it, he might look like he can do it. But until you do it, bro, certain things I can't give you, bro. Now, I can be like, yo, he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. I can say that. And then, you know what?
I just feel
I
like
almost feel that way. I almost feel like he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. I'm not gonna say it yet, but I feel more like that than I feel like he's the GOAT though.
he is the best quarterback you ever seen. That's why you feel that way. Like you
I
you
don't know.
you you feel that way,
Michael
and
Vick like
you're right.
Michael Vick like oh
Get
03,
to the
oh
Super
04.
Bowl, man.
No, no, bro.
No,
That Mike
look,
Vick in
Pat.
03 was like the best. I don't
Who
know.
who else have you seen? And this is for all three of y'all. Who else have you seen come in and break the rules at the quarterback position the way that Pat Mahomes has? In my entire life, I am 30 some years old. I've been told you do not run to your right and throw to your left. You never do that. You don't run to your left and throw back to your right. Pat Mahomes does that routinely. Pat Mahomes does that looking at T hitting Bryce in the top left corner. That's Pat. He does that like we're sick of that. You know what I mean? We don't even want to see that no more. Like, what you going to do next? Underhand, behind the back, but behind the leg. Like Pat Mahomes does things that you don't coach, that you would never coach routinely. Like that's why Bryce, you feel like he's the best you've ever seen. It's because he is.
Uh, probably. I'm just not. I gotta think about that a little more. I right now I get at the Brady. I give it to Brady right now, best I ever seen. And then like I'm dead ass serious when I say Vic in like 03, bro. Like that man was like unstoppable, bro. But there was a different type of quarterbacking, and that's the interesting thing about quarterbacking is like it don't gotta look one way. It's so many different ways it can look. And Patrick Mahomes' way looks so like, man, it's hard. It's tantalizing, bro. It's tantalizing the way he plays the position, and I think that's
I
the thing. That's the thing that makes him. I ain't gonna say makes it look like he's actually better than he is. I don't want to say that. That comes across like hating, and I'm not trying to hate, bro.
Hey,
But like,
hey,
yo,
hey,
it's a
hey,
million
hey.
ways to skin a cat, and Pat Mahomes skinned a cat like a samurai would do it. You know what I'm saying? If you gave a samurai a switchblade and told him to skin a cat, that's how Pat Mahomes skins a cat. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is though, is Pat Mahomes can kill you in multiple ways, man. It's not like he's like Peyton where he can just be cerebral with it, or like Tom where he's going to stand in the pocket. He can do both those things, but he's also real mobile. He's also got 300-400 yards on the ground. Like people sleep. Like you get so wrapped up in coverage, you leave Pat Mahomes with a big gap. He'll gash you for 20. He don't got no problem doing that. Like so, I mean, I'm not saying he's Mike Vick. I'm not saying he's Lamar or Josh Allen, but I'm saying like Pat Mahomes has a little bit of he's good at everything and he's amazing at throwing the football. So that he's like the perfect quarterback.
That boy a cheat code, bro. That boy a cheat code, man. There's no
But
question.
and not go out there and get blown out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's worst case scenario. You go out there and you lose by 20 points. Um, but
You're right, bro.
And and let me
That messes the legacy up, bro.
does
and let me
That's the type of shit that is like, hold up, were my eyes deceiving me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's
and
gonna do that
even
though.
and again no predictions, no spoilers, but what is the likelihood of do we all feel like Pat Mahomes is going to get blown out? Even if Philly wins this game, does anyone feel like it'll be a blowout in their favor?
Fuck off,
14% chance, bro.
no,
bro.
no.
Not happening.
I think it's a 50% chance, right? I think
Oh no, come
Oh
on.
my god, yo! Every time this man says something good about Philly, it tends to happen.
What?
Hey, yo,
50%. Yeah, but T has been right about Philly all season.
bruh, the quarterback, he can move a little bit, but he can't. Philly can get to him, and he's going to have to do numbers in the pocket because all that running around, that last play he did where he basically won the game on his legs. He got pushed out of bounds. Like he's not doing that on Philly. Not doing that on Philly. And I don't trust the Chiefs defense enough to hold Philly. This could end up in a shootout, fireworks, or end up in a blowout. But I don't see the Chiefs dominating this game at all. Like they didn't dominate the Bengals. I really think it's either a shootout and we see Mahomes win a shootout again, or Philly just gives us a blowout and it's boring. But it's not going to blow. The Chiefs won't blow out the Eagles.
So you're saying Chiefs won't blow out the Eagle? I don't think either team gets blown out here. The both teams got way too much offensive firepower to let it be 20 points the other way. So I
No,
think this will be a close game either way.
Yeah,
agree with you on that, bro.
I don't think neither teams won by more than 5 points.
I can
I
see
think
that.
both teams could blow each other out, but I think the Chiefs have a better chance of blowing the Eagles out.
I don't think the Chiefs have enough weapons. Like I like Kelsey and Pacheco, whatever. He's explosive, but I don't think Tony and Juju and Valdez Scantling can make plays on the Eagles secondary. I just don't.
That's really what it's gonna come down to. But I can see I can see a world where, and it's a very slim chance, but where the Chiefs are able to score at a pace that the Eagles can't keep up with, bro. I'm not sold on the Eagles as a quick, fast paced scoring team, man. Their drives to me look methodical. They look,
But
you know,
Yeah.
one thing that stood out to me that I realized gave the 49ers trouble. And if you ever play Madden, they even made a rule for this because this gives so many people trouble when you're not that strong of a player. Right? Having to stop somebody 4 downs instead of 3 puts so much stress on the
Oh
defense.
yeah.
Bruh, I'm looking at the 49ers and it's 3rd and 2, and then it's 4th and 1, and you got to line back up because you know go for it. Bruh. Or it's 3rd and 5, and now it's 4th and 2, and you got to line back up because they're going for it, bro. That puts so much stress on the defense.
and that quarterback sneak vicious, boy.
You saw the pass.
Joe,
Hey man.
that's
You
the best.
gotta
That might be the best quarterback sneak game in the history of the NFL. They might have the
you
best
got
QB sneak in history, bro.
you gotta win on first down against Philly, bro. You can't because like you said, man, they going for it on that fourth.
And you got a quarterback back there that squat 500-600 pounds. He could push the power by himself.
Yeah.
Gonna be a
Yeah,
good
you
game,
gotta win
man.
on first.
Gonna be a good game, fellas.
That's all I'm hoping for is a good game. I don't really care who wins. I'm just hoping for a good game. I would like to see Pat Mahomes win. I would like to – actually, I do care. I would like to see Pat Mahomes win, right? I want to say I saw the greats. I want to say I saw Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, Brady, Gretzky. I want to say I saw Tiger, Serena, Phelps. So I want to keep adding to my list. You know what I'm saying?
You selfish sports watcher, you. I want to
All
see
right.
all the greats.
Before we get out of here, fellas, I do want to touch on the 2 new head coaching hires. So I'm gonna get everybody's quick thoughts on that before we wrap it up. Let's start with the Sean Payton trade to the Broncos. This is, I think, the 4th trade in NFL history of a head coach. We got Sean Payton going from the Saints to the Broncos, first trade in like 20 some years. I think it was like Gruden was the last one that got traded or something. I'll double check that. But what is everybody's initial reaction to Sean Payton going to the Broncos? Is he going to resurrect Russell Wilson's career?
You know what's crazy? I don't think he has to, right? But I do think he will, but I don't think he necessarily has to. I think he has that type of credibility to where if he says, Russ can't get it done, I need another guy, I don't care what we're paying him, I think people will lend him that respect. But I do think if there is a guy that can resurrect a short quarterback that needs a little bit more time and needs to create passing lanes, Sean Payton is no fool, right? He's had a chance to step away, get fresh eyes, see what the league is doing, see where the game is going, what defenses are playing. Broncos, I don't know if they'll be a playoff team, but they'll be over 500 next year. I would take Russ a little bit higher than most in next year's fantasy draft.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on that, bro. But the thing that's gonna blow me is when Russ starts cooking again. Sean Payton's gonna get all the credit.
Yep.
This Russell Wilson season, it was really just a down year, bro. And it was a down year because there was a lot of moving pieces, and he was paired with a head coach who clearly wasn't worth nothing, right? I mean, the guy is fired. The guy was making mistakes left and right. It was clear from day one. So yeah, let's not when Russell Wilson does start cooking again, which will happen, bro. Let's not act like Sean Payton is some quarterback. Well, he might be a quarterback guru. Let's not act like he's the best coach of all time. Because to me, Sean Payton is one of those guys. To me, that gets a lot more credit than his resume says he should.
Bro, he won it after Katrina, man. He's a legend.
That's the only one he won too, and that was what? Oh, well, I was in what? What grade was we in Katrina, bro? 9th grade, 10th grade. So what was that like, bro?
2010, 2009.
That's going on a dub. What's going on a dub, man? Sean, what have you done for me lately, Sean? You'd have got cut if you was a player, bro. What's going on a dub, bro? Nah, man. Hey, NFL coaches can win a Super Bowl, get fired in a year or two.
Hey G, so what are your thoughts on the Sean Payton to the Broncos?
Devontae Adams, get up the fuck out of Las Vegas. Get the fuck out of Las Vegas. Phil, Junior Phillip Rivers, ha ha, you bum, fucking bum. And Patrick Mahomes, man, I'm gonna be happy to see Patrick Mahomes finally have some competition in that division.
Yeah, man, this move feels like chess, not checkers type of move. Sean Payton's had like what 2 seasons off to kind of sit back, scope the league, and pick his destination per se. So I feel like not only does he know like he got to pick his team, but he probably was looking at the AFC West and is thinking ahead. He sees a opening here. So I think this is a smart move. T might be on to something. He does have enough clout in the NFL to where if he's like, "Hey man, he's done. It's time for us to move on." I could totally see something like that happening. And like Bryce said, I could totally see him sucking up all the credit for Russ becoming a comeback player of the year candidate. So I like the move though. I think it'll work out for the Broncos. But the other big head coaching move was D'Amico Ryans, formerly of your 49ers, the defensive coordinator, is now the head coach of the Houston Texans. I'm gonna be honest with you fellas. To me, that's almost like the kiss of death in the NFL. We've seen two black coaches go to Houston and last 2 years, not even 2 total years each of them. So 1 year apiece, and now D'Amico Ryans takes this job. Somebody convinced me that this is worth his time and that he won't be gone at the start of the 2024 season.
bro.
Well, you said chess, not checkers, wrong. D'Amico Ryan's a smart man. He came in and demanded a 6-year deal over the traditional 4 or 5 year deals they're usually giving the head coaches, pretty much guaranteeing them an extra season to get things together there. So hopefully that means he'll get a little more extra time than most, man. I think this was the best, will end up being the best hire from this coach hiring period, man. I think D'Amico Ryan's gonna kill it, and great story considering he used to play for the Texans. So yeah, I think he's got a good shot to turn it around there, man. I think they're on the right path.
Uh,
G.
My opinion is black man get paid. Even if you lose your job after next year, you gonna get paid. Because clearly Houston don't give a fuck about their money. Shit. At this point, man, he's going to a soft ass division and hopefully he could bring that organization up within like year 4. If anything, I think he knows he walked in a situation where this time that organization, all the eyes is on them. They're gonna have to give him more than just 2 years of leeway, and hopefully he can get it done within the first 4.
Mm. T, go ahead, jump in.
from a pure football analyst standpoint, right? He's familiar with Houston. I think he lives there. Actually, I think he has a home there. Drafted him. He's been. It's just a bunch of familiarity. From what I've seen in sports, that never seems to work. Whenever you bring in the home guy or the son of a son and something like that, like the son of a coach, like it just seems too good to be true. And I hope it works out for him. And to me, that's more of checkers than chess because it's a very obvious move. Like, oh, you move there, I got to jump you. You know what I'm saying? The rules say over you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a checkers play. But I mean, I expect to see a tough team that won't give up. Solid run game. He'll rebuild the trenches. They're going to have probably a top 15 defense, better half of the league. But I don't know if that's enough to get it done in the AFC stack. If I'm him, I'm not going to the Texans, just to be honest with you. I think D'Amico's a great young talent, a great young mind, but he didn't learn from Ed Reed. You know what I'm saying? He didn't learn from Ed Reed. Some situations are that way. They're that situation for a reason, right? And you can be well intentioned and have the skills and resources and capability, but the system won't allow you to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah,
I
Houston's
yeah. I
don't
would
know about
say
that.
he
I don't
he
know
wouldn't
about that,
even
bro.
he wouldn't even have to learn from Ed Reed though. He could just look at the guy that left a few weeks ago and Lovey Smith and how they brought him in. Because I remember having similar conversations last offseason when Lovey Smith was hired about, oh, this is a great hire. Oh yeah, this that and the third. Like, and here we are now talking about D'Amico Ryans and what a great hire he is. This for me is my take on it is kind of like Bryce's take on Pat's greatness. I need time. I need to see D'Amico Ryans as your head coach in 2024 before I can even really give you credit for anything like this. Because the way that Lovey Smith just left, let me remind everybody, he just went out because they had the number one pick. If they would have lost the game, he coached them to win. They went all out for the win. They got the win. And he gets fired like the next day for basically winning the game and losing the number one pick. So black, white, yellow, green, the Texans probably aren't the place you want to coach. Especially if you black, the way that things are going there. So we'll see how it works for D'Amico. But to me, this seems like a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of we got the hometown guy. He used to play for us. He lives here. JJ Watt's tweeting about it. Oh, everybody be excited. The Texans are a terrible team. They're a trash organization. And until proven otherwise, I don't see any reason anybody should be excited about this hire.
If the Texans get that number one pick, bro, from the Bears, they're able to finesse that. Get excited about this hire, man. You get D'Amico Ryans coming in, you're guaranteed to have a good defense, bro. If you can find a coordinator that can work with this quarterback, work with Bryce Young, you're gonna have an elite quarterback in this league, bro. That's all it takes, bro. Like they're almost they might be gift wrapped a elite quarterback if they just hit on this quarterback, and maybe it's not Bryce Young. Maybe they see a CJ Stroud. If they hit on this quarterback this year, but they have to hit though. They have to hit this year
Where
on the quarterback.
where are the defensive minded coaches? Where are their teams in the playoffs? Where are their teams in where show me a
Where are they
defensive
in the
minded head
league?
coach.
Where are they in the league? They don't get hired
They're
that much.
they're they're on the Jets who didn't make the playoffs. They're on the Commanders who didn't make the playoffs. What's there's another one who's slipping my mind now, but the defensive
The
high.
Bills
Oh,
are in there every year. The Bills are in there
it
every
was
season.
it was Lovey Smith that was the other defensive hire. So
Bro, the
the
Bills are in
defensive
there. The Bills are in there every season, bro.
they hit on their quarterback. How
That's
often
my
does that happen,
point.
bro?
That's my point. The Texans are gift wrapped. D'Amico Ryans coming in as a head coach, bro. They have the number two pick right now, right? My point is that they're able to finesse and get that number one pick, or if they're able to turn that number one two pick into Justin Fields, one or the other. If they somehow get Fields, same thing, bro. They good. They have to get a quarterback, bro. They have to get a quarterback, and with D'Amico Ryans, you guarantee that he's gonna turn that defense around. They hit on this quarterback year one, the Texans will turn that around. I got faith in D'Amico Ryans, bro.
I'm gonna make a statement that people might disagree with, but I don't.
Hey, well, hold on. I don't know. Your point just got like for me. It was
Hold
bleeped
on.
Yeah,
out there.
what?
Let me get it again. Let me get it again. Thomas the train order.
My
I don't
bad.
think Texans had a bad quarterback.
You don't think they had a bad quarterback? They didn't have a bad. They didn't have a
I,
bad one. Well, they didn't have a good one. They damn sure didn't have a good one.
I, uh,
I'll tell you that much.
I
They have a bad one, but if you don't have a good one, you might as well have a bad one in the NFL, bro.
disagree. I think that guy's a starter in this league. But also, I think at the quarterback position, I don't care who you draft. If you don't got nobody to throw the ball to and you can't block, you're dead in the water. And they don't have nobody to throw the ball to.
Yeah, maybe year one you're dead in the water, but then year two you draft friggin' Jamar Chase, and all of a sudden you got Burrow and Chase, and look where you at. You in the Super Bowl, bro. It can happen just that fast. The Bengals should be. You don't have to look any further than the Bengals, bro.
Well,
Like
it's gonna
they
it's
can do
gonna
the
have
same thing if they could.
it's gonna have to happen super fast in Houston because they've proven that they have zero patience.
Well, they're gonna have to pay if they have zero patience. They're gonna have to pay this guy a little more than they paid everyone else, and I'll take that as a win.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's
That'll be
like
a
G
six-year
said, black
deal.
man get paid.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying, man. People gotta get paid, baby.
That'll be
The
the name of this
economy is
episode.
hard. Eggs cost like $300 now. Get paid.
Hey man, so it's been a good show, fellas. We got more to come next week, man, with the Super Bowl. I'm sure we'll talk about whatever goes down in this new version of the Pro Bowl that they got going with the flag games and the competition. Hopefully, it's not embarrassing like it was last year.
Oh
But
God.
you know, for all the new people that stuck with us out there, all the loyal followers, we appreciate y'all, man. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's end this one the way we end all our shows. Sports for the
Hold
culture.
on.
Oh,
I just want to let the fan know that I have live video of Nick at the Philly Frank stand right now with a bunch of Franks in his mouth. Looking weirdo. I don't know why he sent me a picture, but he had a Frank stand right now. But let's end the show. He a Frank stand for life, up and at it. He a Frank stand fanatic, yo. I told y'all, man. There's something wrong with the Philly fans, man.
I'm sure Scruff will have a lot to say about that next week.
I'm sure he will, man. Tell him clean the mustard off his mouth. You nasty.
Sports for the culture.
Después de
Sports
por
for
la
the
locura.
cult.